Hello listeners, and welcome to another week on Chasm Converses. This week, I have two guests, Cameron and Adam, aka Wes, from the Brisbane-based band 2 Times Shy. We talk about their humble beginnings and the formation of the band, from playing a wedding to then gracing the stage together. We talk about their newest single, Witts End, which also appeared on Friday Night Football, and also discuss an upcoming tour that they are putting together. Join us, and let's get conversing. Chasm Converses. Cameron and Adam, welcome to Chasm Converses.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hey, how's it going?
It's so wonderful to meet you guys. Whereabouts are you joining me from today?
We're in Brisbane at Wes's place.
He's in my bedroom. Yep.
Bedroom.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely love that. I've just had so many guests from Brisbane recently. I'm really enjoying this big clan of Brisbane musicians that I'm just starting to grow and chat to. It's really, really fun and awesome. So yeah, this is gonna be such a cool chat because you guys obviously are in a band together. This is the first time that I get to actually talk to two band members at the same time from across the world, which is quite different. But yeah, either way, no, I'm really keen to talk to you guys today a little bit about like both of your sort of your musical lives, and obviously about the band that the both of you are in, 2 Times Shy. We'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, I'd love to sort of start off just by asking you guys, like, what was your kind of your inspiration to sort of get started in music? Because Cameron, you're a drummer, and Adam, you're a guitarist. So like, let's start with Cameron. Like, what was your sort of inspiration to get involved in drumming?
Well, growing up, I always played guitar. I was a guitarist from the first time I could speak. I picked up a guitar and was playing. But my dad was a drummer himself when he was my age and growing up and stuff. And yeah, I always loved the look of drums, the sound of drums. I was always drawn to drums. And when I was about, I think 15, I got my first drum kit. And yeah, since then have just played ever since. Did a complete flip. Guitar's not my thing anymore, and drums is completely my thing. So
yeah, wow, that's so crazy. I love how that's the switch. But then obviously you got like your father influence on you for doing that, which is really cool. And like Adam, with yourself, like how did you sort of get into doing guitar?
So growing up, I also played sport, but I'm not the tallest bloke. So I quickly found out that basketball was not the calling for me, and I started. My dad had a Strat, so I just started picking that up and playing it. And I thought, look, if I can't be cool playing basketball, I can be cool playing guitar. And that sort of sent me down the path of learning how to play guitar and just having good times. Meeting good blokes, and that sort of kept pushing me to play more guitar. Just did it to look cool, but then I was like, this is actually really fun.
That's like a thing, man. I think a lot of us sort of go on that. I mean, I remember giving up. I remember doing basketball for like maybe a year and a half in like grade 3 to 4 or so, and then also realized it wasn't really for me, and then branched on to other things. But
yeah, well, I came back from like national basketball, and I was like, look, I'm pretty good, but like I am 5'9", 10, and like I don't know if this is the calling for me.
Yeah. Relying incredibly on like the jump rather than like the reach. But
if me and Cameron swapped heights, that would be ideal.
Yeah. That's so great. Yeah. So do you guys sort of know each other from like kind of back in the day, or did you sort of meet sort of during both your journeys as musicians?
No, so funny story. So myself and the lead singer, Doug, we've known each other since we were kids in primary school.
Yeah.
We actually started the band together, and it was it July last year?
Right.
It was July last year.
It was later than that.
Oh, maybe.
I got the Snapchat notification for a year.
Yeah, right. So,
the memory popped up.
It's been just over a year since we met Wes and Wes joined the band. We held the auditions for a new guitarist, and yeah, fitted in straight away. It didn't bother calling anyone back. We're like, yep, this is the one.
Wow, cool.
And since then, yeah, he's been part of the band. Great friendship.
It's not because I'm good at guitar, it's because I'm funny.
I'm getting the vibe right now. Yeah, for sure. I mean, every band needs every band needs some good banter and good camaraderie and stuff. So that's I completely understand with that. No, wow, that's really, really cool. So I guess so you sort of started, did you start this band itself in school, or did you start another band and then you sort of grew it up from there?
Oh, so in school, I knew Doug. We were close. He was very much into sports and wasn't very music orientated until the late high school years and after high school.
Right.
So, but we kind of lost contact after we graduated, and then he messaged me. I think it was early 2020. And he wanted to put a band together for his mum's 50th.
Right. Okay.
So there was a group of us lads, and we started jamming and practicing for his mum's 50th. And we're like, we're actually quite good at this. Why don't we start a band and see if we can write some songs and see where that goes?
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
One thing led to another, and we started writing songs. And now we're here.
Wow, yeah. That's really cool, man. Honestly.
Band name was called Doug's mum, DMT, Doug's mum's tribute.
Yeah. We soon found out that DMT was not an appropriate name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wow, that's probably one of the best stories I've ever heard personally of a band getting together, because it's it's such a rarity that kind of thing happens, but especially that you all just jammed together and all molded together and you just we actually sound pretty good. Let's sort of take this on and see how much better we can do this. Wes, did you find yourself in other bands as well before you joined this one, or is this sort of your first band?
So I floated around for a bit through high school and stuff. So I moved from Adelaide to Sunny Coast in grade 10.
Yeah, we got things to talk about because I'm from Adelaide. Continue.
I don't remember much. But then I graduated, did a year with my parents on the Sunny Coast and moved to Brisbane. And I played through bands all through high school. But this was the first serious band I sort of started sussing out in Brisbane, and it was pretty good. They were good group of lads, and But yeah, this is probably my first really, really serious band. But before this, I played covers and other just terrible punk or grunge music.
Yeah, I think I've all been in a very similar spot to that. But no, that's so cool, man. So I love how you guys have obviously you've all come together and brought up this band, Two Times Shy. It's really, really great to see. And obviously you're still only 2 or 3 years into this band now as well, which is quite cool. It's weird. Through the COVID times and a few people that I've interviewed, a lot of bands got started in that late sort of 2019 into 2020 kind of spot. Did you guys find it quite hard to sort of get yourselves going during that 2020 period of it being all closed down or shut off? Because I know that Brisbane was quite different to where I was in Adelaide at the time.
Yeah, well, Brizzy kind of got hit after everyone else, and the lockdown stuff affected us later in the 2020 year. But we just jammed in a shed because we had the time to. We couldn't leave, and some of us couldn't work and all that kind of stuff. So we just spent a lot of time jamming in a shed. And it wasn't until mid 2021 that we started to take it seriously and record some stuff.
Right.
And then we didn't release our first single until August of last year. So things have only been around or been legit for just over a year now. And we were lucky enough that when we started to pursue it professionally, everything had kind of died down and the opportunities were starting to open up, and it wasn't as difficult to get started as it would have been in 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, no, wow, that's really great. I mean, I think every great band starts playing in a shed, really. It's the classic sort of first start sort of thing, which is so cool. It's so great that was sort of the timeline that you were able to sort of work with molding yourselves into your music and obviously getting it out eventually. And it's such a great form of pop punk music as well that I really kind of enjoy that. It's just got that real, really nice, fullness to it, and all the instruments sound very tight. The vocals just sound amazing. Is pop punk a massive influence to both of you guys?
kind of for me. I mean, growing up, definitely not, but
Yeah.
sort of like 2020 to now, yeah. It was kind of nice. I was shifting from like a perspective of guitar needs to be really like technical and nice, or like perfect, into a view of where it just kind of has to sound good, and like our songs are like 3 chords and like pretty easy, and it's like as long as it sounds good and feels good, it is good. And coming from that perspective, it's like no, but yes. So kind of is the answer to that question.
Yeah, definitely. What about you?
For myself, not really until we started the band, until Doug reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to get together? And even then, the songs we were wanting to play, the covers that we were playing for the 50th weren't really even pop punk. They were more rock oriented. But during that period, we listened to a lot of pop punk, a lot of like State Champs, Mayday Parade, Australian bands, like yours truly, or With Confidence. We got heavily into those bands, and then when we began to write, we felt the influence of those bands come out in the way we wanted to write. So yeah, kind of just when we started the band was big for pop punk in all of us, in Doug and Jaden as well.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I can those influences definitely carry through in the music as well. And it's so cool that sometimes that's sort of what can happen. You just sort of put your mind to a certain genre, then before you know it, you can sort of expand out into it, and then it sort of just kind of it feeds in and sort of starts to like really mesh together with what you're doing. And as I said, you guys have crafted such a great style of it as well, like just very catchy choruses, as I said, very simplistic guitar, not as technical, but very like just simplistic and just catchy to the ear, like those hooky choruses and all the rest of it. And really that's all that pop punk is. But I think personally that you guys are doing it really, really well. So that's just something really great to take away from this.
Thank you.
I'd love to talk to you guys about, obviously, you know, being musicians is always fun because you get to like, you know, play live in front of a bunch of people and all that sort of stuff. Have you guys had the opportunity to sort of play a bunch of shows in your own hometown? Have you had chances to go to different places of Australia and also play over there?
We started off in Brisbane because we're all from Brisbane, but we've had been lucky enough to have opportunities to go to Toowoomba and Brisbane, Toowoomba and the Gold Coast. Unfortunately, we haven't ventured outside of those areas just yet. But we are currently organising a tour for November where we'll do the whole East Coast of Australia.
Oh wow!
So that's going to be
Sydney, Melbourne, Newcastle.
Sydney, Melbourne, Newcastle, and then Toowoomba and Brisbane as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you guys ever been in like a car together for a long period of time?
4 hours, maybe. 4 hours was probably the longest we've all been together in a car.
Yeah.
But so that might be interesting, doing the whole like 10, 15-hour trips.
Yeah.
To be honest, like we all look forward to it. We all get on with each other really well. Even when we aren't getting on with each other, things are still great. So we're looking forward to it very much so.
That's brilliant. That sounds like that's going to be great, man. I mean, hell, I remember when I was doing like little bits of touring and stuff like that, because obviously from Adelaide, trying to reach out to Melbourne and Sydney and that, like it's so far. The trek's like 8 hours and like another 12 or so on top of that. So you're in the car for so long, staying in just like Airbnbs, like motels, just like for the night before you go to the next place. It's such a great way to sort of like get that on the road mentality, but also sort of like experience what your bandmates are like when, you know, you see them for longer than just like an hour or 2 hour practice session.
Roll out the swag.
Yeah, 100%. Throw the tents out, just like camp on the side of the street or something like that. Like when things get really rough. That's so great that you guys have that tour coming up. I'm sure there are plenty of people who are very, very excited to come see you guys play all together. Have you guys had any sort of like because obviously you played a few shows together already. Have you got like a show that you played together that was like kind of your favorite, or one that you really enjoyed playing all together? Like it really went well, or there was heaps of people, or anything like that?
It'd have to be headliner. Probably.
Yes. Our headline show, our debut headline show for our EP. When we launched our EP in March, we played a show in our hometown Brisbane at a place called Tomcat.
Right.
And yeah, we were lucky enough to sell the place out. It was it was a very surreal show. It was, yeah, it was amazing. Definitely our favorite show across the board. And we're yet to have
Yeah, it
any
was
shows.
chockers.
Yeah,
It was
it was
full chockers in there.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It was amazing.
Just
Yeah.
turns into like absolute sweat city as well, and there's just like that many
does.
people giving you the energy and you're trying to give it back.
Yeah.
Everything went wrong though. On my end, everything. I was talking to the sound guy, or not talking, you're on stage and trying to communicate. I was like, more in the wedge, turn me way up. And then the show ends and he's like, oh, your wedge is unplugged. I was like, oh, thanks, mate. Cheers for that one. Thanks for double checking.
It was funny.
Oh man. Oh dude.
We had quite a few technical difficulties on that night, but we were able to push through and everything still went really well.
Yeah, I had a lead break, like just full of darkness.
Yeah.
Oh man, like honestly, it's not a show without just any sort of technical difficulty. I mean, like I've had like, you know, my bass string break, or like, you know, my like guitar players had like his guitar strings break. The last show I played with my last band, Paper Sunsets, my bass wasn't even plugged in when I went on stage, which was completely my fault. But it's like, you know, you walk on stage for like our last big show. I'm like, yep, sweet. Put my bass on. I'm just like, oh fuck. Just like trying to like find the plug to plug it in. It was just like, oh man. Sometimes you just like completely phase out of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's never, if you ever have a massively awesome show, there's always some sort of like nitty gritty technical thing going on in there. But it's all part of the experience though, isn't it?
It makes it more memorable. We'll put it that way, I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. Well, I'd love to talk to you guys about your newest single, Witts End, because, you know, it's an absolute powerhouse of a song. And you've got quite a few other ones as well that you've released as well. Like, you know, you've got Gone as well, which is also in there. I really love your guys' artwork, actually. I think it looks really, really sweet. Like, obviously, the Witts End one with the boots, and then you got like the Gone with the lighter. And even the ones before that with like the cuckoo clock and stuff, and like the different elements and stuff that you shaped all together. Who's kind of like the creative genius behind the band who comes up with these kind of ideas, or do you sort of offload it to like an artist and they sort of sculpt something for you?
Yeah, so we offload our artwork responsibilities to someone else. A guy, his brand is called Make North. He's actually from the UK. His name's Dan Holub. So he does a lot of our favorite bands, like Between You and Me and those guys, and we saw their artwork and we're like, we want stuff like that. Let's find out who did their stuff and see if we can get in contact with them. And we're lucky enough to get in contact with them. And we didn't really have any ideas for our artworks to begin with. And then we'd send him off the songs, the lyrics, and be like, have at it. And he came back to us with those interpretations of the songs. And they really visually represent the meaning of the song quite well. And
they're pretty solid.
Very solid. Like when you look into the meaning of the cuckoo clock and the individuality of all of the artworks and how the singles are different to each other, and also the two new artworks for Gone and Witts End. It really perfectly represents the song and what we want to portray visually as well as sonically.
Wonderful. It's really great when you can find someone like that, actually.
Yeah.
It'd be definitely nice to say we did it ourselves, though.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But nah.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. That's the really cool thing I love about that is that there's an Adelaide band called Down and Out that's also a pop punk band, and they also get their artwork done through Mike North as well. I used to play quite a few shows with those boys. I love those boys.
Yeah, right. They're sick. They've actually just released a new track as well, which slaps.
They're did awesome as well with Kellen Quinn. I could not believe that they had that feature. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope.
Absolutely blowing up those boys. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it feels like Mike North is getting quite a few clients in the pop punk scene in Adelaide, Australia, as it is, which is incredible.
Yeah, I think it all stems from there's a producer in Sydney called Stevie Knight.
Right.
He's in with a lot of the Hopeless Records bands. And we found him through a band called Between You and Me from Melbourne.
Yes, I've heard of them.
Yeah, and all of the bands that he's worked with typically get their artwork done by the same dude,
Right.
and kind of connected the dots and were able to find him, and yeah, it was great.
Wow.
There's a reason why so many bands go with him is because he's so great.
Yeah, and it comes across like you can just see it, like it's so crisp and so professional, and like it's one of those things I really love that you guys are a band where, you know, like I go onto your Instagram page and I see professional photos, I see professional artwork, I see just really nice looking, crisp sort of layout. It's not just like, you know, you're just like on the side of the street taking a photo on your iPhone or something like that, and then like using 1,000 filters to try and make it look good. It's like, no, we're actually like investing in this because we actually really enjoy doing this, and we want people to sort of see how much we're investing in it, and it really comes across. So I really must admire you for doing that.
Abandoned brick walls, you know. Have you seen that?
Abandoned brick walls. No, thanks for saying that. We appreciate that. We take a lot of pride in having a professional persona and image. Because it's not only the music that people listen to, they also look at what we're like as well.
Plus, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun to do all those things.
100%. Yeah. It's a lot of imagery as well, for sure, when it comes to bands and stuff, man. People want to see you and connect your faces to all the music and stuff that they're listening to. So it's the best way to go about it. Hey, yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask about, going back to Witts End at the moment, is that like, do you guys sort of write your songs kind of all together, or do you have like someone who sort of comes up with an idea, then shares it, and then you'll sort of collaborate on top of it?
Well, for Witts End and our EP and Gone and the batch of songs that we've just recently released over the past year, Douglas and myself wrote and recorded all of them. That was before we met Wes, and Jaden was in the band as well.
Right.
So we sat down, like either myself, I'd have an idea, or Doug would have an idea, and we'd sit together and write it on an acoustic guitar, record it on voice memos on your phone, and kind of piece it all together bit by bit. But now we've kind of got a solid foundation with our bands. We are becoming more of a cohesive unit with writing the songs together, and everyone has more of an input, and it's really working well.
Wow. Yeah, we kind of just write in. So instead of writing in the shed, we kind of just write on the computer now.
Oh, cool.
It's a little bit easier to punch tracks in and send it to each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Then physically having to show each other stuff, which is so much nicer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, people forget, you know, like,
it
goes da da da. Oh, just here you go. Let's play.
Yeah, exactly. The music terminology sometimes you get lost, especially like big band settings, especially if there's like distractions as well. We used to get distracted a lot back in the day, but even so. And the other thing that I actually realized as well is like you guys have quite a few of your songs played on like Friday Night Football for the AFL, which is just insane. Like that's an awesome accomplishment. Are you guys both kind of football fans, or are you more so kind of NRL kind of fans?
I used to like AFL, and then I moved to Queensland, and everyone seemed to like rugby, and I was like, I might just not tell anyone I like AFL. But it's definitely fallen off.
Yeah, I'm not big into AFL or rugby, but we were lucky enough to get the opportunity to have our songs aired on live TV and on.
No, Cameron, you got to show you love AFL. You love AFL. Favorite.
It's all for the sell. It's all for the sell, man.
Yeah.
We love Channel 9.
That's that, boys. Plug it all the way.
We would have been stupid to turn down the offer to have our songs played on national television. So, very lucky to have that opportunity, and we gained plenty of followers, and people reach out to us. I heard your songs on TV tonight. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would have just been such a great feeling to be able to have that.
Me and my girlfriend sat up and tried to watch the footy, and I was like, we'll just wait for the song to come on. We'll put it on KO, we'll chuck it on the telly.
Yeah.
Like, she hates sport. She hates that. So we're like, all right, we'll check it out, we'll watch it. We're like, it's half time, we'll be on now. It didn't come on. 3/4 time, it didn't come on. It's the game, so we must be final.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't realise, but KO just shuts off afterwards. So it's like Channel 9 stream the whole time, and it shuts off. It's like, game ends, black green. Don't get to see it. All the boys are like, yeah, we're on now, boys. And I'm just like,
we're watching on live TV.
On the free TV, yeah. Oh, shit. Damn, Bloody Channel 7, man. Channel 7, they're the way to do it right there. Yeah, no, I know that KO does that sometimes. They cut it off. I do that as well. We've got Sky over here, and they do that same sort of thing. You get like the end of the game goes for like, maybe you get like 3 minutes of post-game celebrations, and then it just like ends straight away and goes on to the next thing. You're like, oh, shit, okay, let's...
Yeah, it was 3 hours of AFL that... 3 hours of AFL that she didn't want to watch, and then I was probably in a bit of trouble after that.
So you ruined my night. I won't forgive you for this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, oh, come on. It wasn't that bad. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's been so great, guys. I'd love to finish off us just like putting forward a cool kind of because obviously, we're all musicians who get influenced by different people, different artists and that sort of stuff. Do you guys have like a favorite band or like a favorite show that you've seen recently, or maybe that you've seen back in the day that you sort of like, really kind of holds true to you, that kind of keeps you inspired to keep on doing what you do?
I've been lucky enough to see like pretty much every band that I like. Whenever they come to Australia or come to Brisbane, I'm the first person to buy a ticket. Last week, 2 weeks ago ish, I was lucky enough to see Neck Deep. They played at the Tivoli in Brisbane.
Yeah,
and they blew my mind. They were so good.
Wow, absolutely
unreal. That was definitely one of the best concerts I've seen.
That's awesome. Yeah. I saw Neck Deep a long time ago. They must have changed a whole lot since I last saw them. Like I saw them with like Confession, so that was like years ago in Adelaide. But yeah, no, they've blown up a lot recently, which has been really great to see. I obviously wasn't able to see the show, but I saw a bunch of Instagram videos of stuff from my friends who did go and see the show. But no, it looked absolutely insane.
Cool.
What about you?
I just love shows. Like I go to as many as I can. And even if it's like Rick's backyard or like Grayson, there's just some local band playing. But
yeah,
I saw Wax's last show.
Right, yeah.
That was sick. It was great. It was awesome to see like such a big crowd, and I think they had sold it out 3 nights in a row, pretty close to selling out the TIV 3 nights in a row.
Wow.
But yeah, that was heaps of fun. And then not necessarily just pop punk bands, but like any like June Rats or Skags gig, like all of those are so much fun because like just any gig, it's so good. Like it doesn't matter what's playing as long as it's loud.
100%, man.
It's good.
Seeing live shows and stuff is obviously so much fun, and it keeps that sort of spark and that fire alive to keep on performing and keep on doing what you guys do, which is awesome to see, and all the rest of it. But this has been really great, lads. I really appreciate you sort of joining me for this chat. It's been really great to meet the both of you, and it's been really great to listen to your song and all the rest of it as well. And yeah, listen up to Witts End by 2 Times Shy. And yeah, lads, I really appreciate you being on it. Any final thoughts before we finish up?
When you go to bed, put the songs on repeat. Like make a playlist with all the songs and put it on repeat, and just put it on every night when you go to bed. That's probably the final thought to have.
Please on that.
Yeah, give us some money.
Yeah, give us money.
Do the we call it farming, right? So you go, you go to work and you have the Spotify on in your pocket while you go to work, and you just put the repeat on, you leave it in there for the 8 hours, and then you get your friend to do it, and then they get their friend to do it, and you just sort of farm it after a while.
It's definitely illegal, but it is funny to do that.
Oh wow.
Thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate your time and the opportunity to come on, so thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you so much, Cameron. It was a wonderful chat. Thank you so much for tuning into the episode this week. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Cameron, Adam and myself. Do check out their band 2 Times Shy and listen to the new single Witts End that you're hearing right now. Catchy, right? There are links in the description of this episode directing you where to listen, and also to their YouTube, where you can watch them in action. Please leave a rating and or review for the show wherever you listen to your podcasts, and I'll see you again next week for a new episode with a new guest here on Chasm Converses.